she's saying. There is a lot happening, although Bitcoin is moving down under $62,000. It is still a positive sign that we are above 60K. What are the charts telling us? We're going to talk about it. Also, lots of big news coming out of Solana Breakpoint down in Singapore. Which banks, well, actually, why are the banks choosing Solana? And is it a good time to buy or is it a good time to sell the Sol token? We'll have that conversation. Big news in terms of custody as the SEC has seemingly granted one massive bank exemption from SOB 121, giving them the ability to custody Bitcoin and digital assets. What does that mean for the space? We'll talk about that. We have some news to share with Toncoin, and we'll talk about some of our favorite projects going into the end of the year. With that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. What happened to the hand?
What did you do to the hand?
What's up with it? No hand? Is it because we're making fun of you with a hand?
Can I have my intro? I gave you your stupid moment.
Really?
Hola!
I had my moment yesterday, and you took away my intro. I
Give it.
whatever. I'm not gonna press it. Go ahead.
It's your boy Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content. Unlike the other channels, which we're going to name at the end of the show, we're going to list all the boring and
No,
stale
we're
channels.
not. What the hell is
Why
wrong
not?
with you?
I'm going to list them, call them all out, bro.
Do it
So-
right now. Go ahead.
Okay. So we got
Stop it.
we'll get to it later. Yeah. Stay tuned for all the channels that suck in cryptocurrency. They deliver boring and stale information. We don't do that here.
No, we're not.
We take all of that information and repackage it in a fun and sexy way. Bitcoin's down, but my hope is up.
Speaking of sexy, did you see Iggy Azalea at the?
You think she's sexy?
I mean, parts of her are sexy.
Parts of her? What are you gonna?
Is
He's
the
like,
boot-
well, I cut off her leg. I kept this one. The rest I just threw it in the river.
the boot.
You know what parts? You know what parts I'm talking about. You know what parts.
Okay.
Guy, I feel like every crypto conference, there's always something very cringe. Outside of maybe like the Bitcoin conference, but every other like project specific or like a blockchain, like crypto event, there's always a cringe moment with some weird ass dancing and singing and just weird shit. And then Iggy threw a party and it was amazing. Saw some video clips.
What is? Why are you all of a sudden some Iggy fan?
I'm not. I just saw her in a different
like
light.
pulling up to the studio, bumping Iggy. What?
No, not the music. I feel like Ashley listens to Iggy. Do you listen to Iggy?
I used to.
See?
I did.
I was right.
I don't anymore.
What made you stop?
I don't even know any of her songs. There's like one song that
I know she hasn't put out a song. She's more known for her meme coin now.
Mm.
Which huge news adoption for Solana with Iggy's launching a crypto casino. Massive news. All jokes aside, there's a lot of stuff coming out of Solana Breakpoint, a lot of very important things. So let's start there. And let's start with I mentioned cringe. Here we go.
I see you, boy. Let's get it. Whoop. Make some noise. See you.
No,
Let's get it.
I can't fucking hear you. I stole.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you-
What? What's happening?
Okay.
Come here, bro.
Ashley,
Yes.
question.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lady.
I am.
Okay.
Wow. Great analysis
Why
here.
don't you-
Great analysis.
Why don't you break more things in the back? Ashley, you're a lady.
David, you're a dude.
Leave Rocco, can you get him off the damn camera, please? For the love of Christ. Can
Your
I just have a
introductions are horrendous.
Really? Says the guy who said, Ashley, what did he say to you the other day? You do stuff, right?
You do stuff.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's better than
Here.
female.
Ashley.
You have hair.
What's your question?
Ashley,
Yeah.
I want you to, Rocco, will you just put the video on the screen? I want you to imagine yourself in Singapore, okay?
Okay.
You're at the Solana conference
Mhm.
and you see these two right here. and you see this dance move, right? Just like straight up. And this dude walks up to you afterwards, and he starts, spitting some game and asking you to go out
There's
to dinner.
no shot that man right there has game.
There's no chance. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But continue. Go ahead.
No, that was my question.
Okay.
Yeah. Robin, this kind of looks like you. Was that you in incognito, my friend? I mean, was that a hologram of you on the show yesterday? I don't get it. Okay, but yeah, guys, just enough with the cringe shit, man. You know what? Come to Vegas next year for Bitcoin. We're gonna throw a party. We'll show you how it's done. No weird cringe shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're just gonna get some bottles. We're gonna have some hot bottle waitresses, and we're gonna
have a dishwasher lady who's gonna wash our dishes, right, Robin?
It's gonna be a good time, bro.
Yeah, good time. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I want to give a big thank you to Biomex. $20 super chat said, "This is the place to drop the mic." Biomex, thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. I'll send you a message in Discord. Get back to me later. All right, let's talk about this. Some actual good news. Here we have, so a couple things coming out of Jupiter, the leading DEX aggregator on Solana. Jupiter announced the introduction of Perps version 2, making perpetual trading gasless. This aims to deliver a trading experience on Solana with parity to centralized exchanges. Obviously, if you've been watching our show for a while, you know that I am all about making things easy and convenient for people. That way, when I bring them into an ecosystem, I don't have to give them a handbook or a handout and a brochure and say, follow these steps like a pilot, right? They have a checklist. All right, first, make sure you write down your seed phrase. Second, don't store it anywhere. We don't want to do that. Bring them into the ecosystem and let them have fun without having to think twice. Also, Jupiter Mobile will now integrate Apple Pay, Google Pay, and credit card on-ramping. So this is another pretty big step in the right direction. Robin, is there a better DEX than Jupiter? When it comes to user experience, when it comes to technology and what they do, being able to tap into any liquidity pool on Solana without having to do here, do there, it does everything for you. It has MEV protection. It's got limit orders. It's got a DCA thing. It's got perps. I mean, is there a better DEX in entire crypto space than Jupiter?
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think so.
And the reason I say that is, you pointed to all the tech and features, bells, whistles, functionality, utility, and that's why the users are there. But outside of that, for me, what makes a DEX bulletproof, right? What is the key component you want out of a DEX? And it's liquidity. And because they garner so much liquidity out of the Solana ecosystem,
but they don't. That's the beauty of it, Robin. They don't. They tap into all the liquidity pools, right? They're an aggregator.
That's what I'm saying. But they aggregate the liquidity.
Yes.
And so because they command that much liquidity, and even though they go about it in an unorthodox way, or at least not in the same Uniswap direction where there's just liquidity pools launched by liquidity providers on the Ethereum network, this obviously goes a different direction. But at the end of the day, they have a massive amount of liquidity they can draw on, which is the backbone of a DEX. So how did they get there? It was with the utility, the functionality, the ease of use, the interface, all of the above was the reason they got there. But the reason that they are the king at the moment is because they have the king share of liquidity. And so that's until that is taken away.
But you shouldn't discount what features are available.
Oh yeah, no, that's why they got there. There's a reason that they're outgrowing Uniswap by leaps and bounds. Uniswap is slowly degrading away as far as users and TVL or amount of money that's sloshing through their ecosystem. And the reason being is that, you know what? It's just easier to use Jupiter, right? I mean, you gotta
Jupiter's.
Think about this. Think about all those times that you go on Uniswap to go to trade, and you got to go adjust the slippage, and then next thing you know, you send the transaction, you pay the gas fee, transaction failed. Like it is absurdly inefficient, right? And we're supposed to be in a crypto era where crypto makes everything better, cheaper, faster, right? Except for Uniswap, where it makes things more expensive, complicated, confusing, and sometimes just straight broken, right? good luck trying to facilitate a trade if you can't even nail the slippage, right? And then you just get front run and taxed to death. And so
I'll tell you, man. I'm pretty sure it's a fair statement to say I've probably used Jupiter more than you, and you realizing that it's great. I'm telling you, dude.
yeah,
The experience on Jupiter is phenomenal, second to none. I haven't been on a Dex. Also, to be fair, I haven't been on every Dex.
Go back to Uniswap.
Oh, I've used Uniswap.
Yeah, go back to Uniswap, and then you'll feel the pain points right there once again.
And also, shout out to the team for continuing to build. We know their second airdrop is coming soon, so if you got the first airdrop, chances are you're probably going to get another one if you've been using it and/or still have that initial airdrop. I sold half of mine when I got it. The other half I've staked it, so I still have half my airdrop. I'm expecting another airdrop in January, or dubbed Jupuary. So. All right, let's talk about some other Solana things. Guys, why a lot of Solana news? Their convention is going on literally right now in Singapore. Play Solana unveils first ever crypto gaming handheld. Now, I don't know if it's the first ever because I think Sui did this. Maybe the first to launch, but here you go. This is kind of an 8-second demo video. And so kind of like a Nintendo. What were these things called? A Game Boy?
Yeah.
Right? Game Boy? Is this like, okay, is this kind of tchotchke to you? Or is this, you think this is, I don't know if important is the right word to use, but is it like,
There's a giant market for handhelds. If that's.
but
what
is
you're
anyone going to
getting
buy a Solana handheld? Like, would it be better to integrate with like, let's just say a Nintendo Switch versus creating your own console?
Nintendo Switch have proprietary games. You have to be licensed by Nintendo to play it. So, I'm pretty obviously. I'm kind of a gamer at heart.
Would you buy this?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah. I have an Asus ROG, and I forget the name of it, but it's a handheld similar, I guess, to something that you would understand. It's similar to like a Nintendo Switch, but basically it's a full gaming laptop that has a screen, controllers on the side, and then you just download whatever games. Very popular. You also have the Stream Deck. That's another competitor as well to them. And then there's probably 4 or 5 lesser known handhelds, and they have pretty good sales. And so if there's a market for it, then the product is amazing, right? Instead of having to buy an entire gaming laptop, carry it around, laptop batteries suck, right? Good luck putting a laptop on your lap. And actually using it for what the name is.
That would make it not a lap.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying if you try to play a game on a laptop on your lap with that the gaming laptops right now, they run these NVIDIA 40 series gaming laptop cards, and they get extremely hot. You'll burn your legs. I'm not even joking. Like, you literally will burn your legs after probably about 30 minutes of playing. The fan will just be blowing on your nuts, and there you go. There's if they have a market for it, if there's buyers, and I would assume that this would probably land in a similar situation that we had the Solana phone, right? Hey, you buy the Solana phone, all of a sudden it's full of airdrops that are worth more than the Solana phone, right? Don't you find it probably likely that there will be a handful of airdrops and games that are preloaded onto the
Yeah.
And so, worst case scenario, maybe it's not worth more than the game, but at least you could probably pre-order, get the handheld, and then take whatever airdrops you have and sell it, and probably cover 50% of the cost. And so I think it's a no-brainer on it. And then, yeah, you know what? You got a handheld game system, and you can go play some Web3 games, earn some play to earn tokens, things like that.
Poman said, good news is it self-pauses, so you can take a break. Shot there. Okay, let's move on to some more institutional, still on Solana. Franklin Templeton is planning to launch a mutual fund on Solana. A mutual fund. But there's bigger news than that, Rob. Did you hear about the other bank?
No.
The third largest bank in the United States of America, Citigroup, is turning to Solana for next-gen financial services. eyeing cross-border payments. Meanwhile, Citi said it's exploring the Solana blockchain's potential to enable seamless cross-border money transfers and deploy smart contracts. According to its representatives at the event, the bank sees blockchain as a future of finance. Citibank has already tested blockchain applications in other areas of its business, having utilized the Avalanche blockchain earlier this year to tokenize private equity funds. Isn't this what we said XRP was going to kind of take over, right? Cross-border payments. Talking about the third largest bank in the United States. I think globally they rank number 10, I think, or in the top 10. But
I'll say this. I feel like XRP, yes, to answer your question, that is what XRP and Ripple were supposed to cater to, right? But XRP is pretty old tech, right? So Solana came out, dropped in 2020, got its rise in 2021. And so a lot has already been built between the time that XRP launched and Ripple launched and the time that Solana launched. And so is it more efficient is more the question for me, because you need two things for cross-border payments: efficiency and security. The security part's the only thing that I would say, like, not too sure. I feel like Ripple might be a little bit more centralized, controllable, might cater to banking and central banks a little more so than Solana would. And I feel like
I can argue they're both more centralized.
I think if I had to say, which one do you think is more centralized? Ripple or Solana?
Ripple.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think that because there's more of a centralization with Solana, that's probably why they went with Solana versus Ethereum, for example. The banks can simply call up devs for Solana and say, "Hey, guys, can we add this feature or remove it or circumvent this part of your blockchain?" And I think that it could more easily be done on Solana than, say, the likes of Ethereum, as an example. I think the same thing can be said for Ripple. But now the thing is, with Ripple, they don't have like smart contracts on there, right?
They have the XRP ledger.
Yeah, but at its base level, it's the transfer peer-to-peer network.
Go ahead, Rocco.
Ripple just XRPL already integrate a smart contract as well.
XRPL.
But it's through the XRPL ledger. And so what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, they both execute the same thing, right? But for Solana, it's all done natively on the base chain. And
so is XRP.
Through the ledger?
Through the XRPL, yeah. Yeah, there's no layer 2s that I know of on XRPL. Now, I guess the direction I was going with it was, does it say more about Solana or does it say more about a company like Ripple, who is supposed to, like, that is their main utility, right? You can look at Solana and say it's got gaming utility, it's got meme coins, it's got tokenization, it's got stable coins, it's got whatever cross-border payments. You look at Ripple, right? There's one thing that comes to your mind, and that is cross-border payments, right? They've been around the longest in their field. They're the biggest by market cap when it comes to a like specialized, honed-in utility and use case. So does this say more about Solana or Ripple? I want to know what the chat thinks. Is this more bullish for Solana or more bearish for Ripple? Put a 1 for more bullish for Solana, put a 2 for more bullish for bearish for Ripple. I'm curious. I'm leaning towards more bearish for Ripple. Although this is great for Solana, but I think one thing to not forget here as well is we both kind of agreed that Solana and Ripple are both more centralized than some of the other projects. Take, say, Cardano, take Avalanche, whatever. But I think when it comes to institutions, I think they feel safer with some level of centralization to where, I don't know, if they need to fork the net or something with the validators. I don't know. I'm not the big tech guy. I don't understand how coding works on the blockchain. But I'm sure they want to be able to have some sort of say or pull within that ecosystem. And so, I don't know. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah. So XRP Ledger does work didn't natively, but so XRPL uses a unique consensus protocol rather than traditional proof of work. The consensus is called Ripple Protocol Consensus Algorithm, or PCA. It allows transactions to confirm quickly, efficiently. So what it does is here it sorry. Okay, so it does support. So smart contracts on XRPL are not done traditionally natively in the same way Ethereum does, Solidity. But what it does is a feature called hooks. It allows users to attach custom code accounts triggered before and after the transaction occurs. So, I mean, it is done natively on chain, but what I'm saying is that it wasn't built from the ground up, and maybe that's more beneficial for end client to say like, hey, like there's no other protocols or no other upgrades or forks or ledgers that are doing this, and it was built from the ground up. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what the benefits are of one versus the other, but I just know that smart contracts and functionality just ran from the get-go, right? And so maybe there's something to it, maybe there's not. I'll look more into XRP and how their smart contracts work. I'm a little bit more curious on how far down the rabbit hole I can go on this, not knowing coding myself personally, but no, man, I'm just confused why a bank wouldn't choose Ripple at this moment, right? It's been clarified.
Well, some can
not security, right?
Well, the appeal, right? I think that's still looming.
But the thing is that if you're Citibank and you're looking at Ripple and you're looking at Solana, you could argue that Solana hasn't yet been classified a commodity or even not a security. And I think it was just a short time ago. It was labeled a security by the SEC.
I think the better
which got redacted.
I think the better argument here is don't forget Solana's mainnet is still in beta. It's still in beta, and so you're talking about the third largest bank in the U.S. looking to launch products and services on a beta network. I don't know. I mean, sure, it's great for adoption, yada, yada, yada. But I would still be concerned. You know, a lot of people joke about the failed transactions. Can you imagine a bank like Citi, the amount of transactions if they do put them on chain?
They'll scrap the partnership, I think.
We'll see how FireDancer does, because FireDancer is live on testnet, and it's been a wild success. They've gotten up to over 1 million transactions per second. Now, of course, this is testnet, so a little different when it rolls out on the mainnet. We'll see how that goes. But you can't deny the fact that these guys are bagging massive names. Yeah. They're bagging massive names. If anything, it's good for a headline. And we'll kind of talk about whether Solana is a good buy or sell. We'll get into that conversation. But because we're on banks, do want to share one more thing, and then we'll get into what are we looking to hold, buy, and sell. SOB 121, Robin, it looks like one bank has received an exemption, and that is the oldest bank, correct me if I'm wrong, in the United States, BNY Mellon, has identified as the first bank to receive SEC exemption from SOB 121, allowing them to custody Bitcoin and other digital assets. Now, we here at Sin City Crypto, I believe I'm speaking for everyone, if I'm not, jump in, that it is, if you are in crypto, if you have Bitcoin, for the reasons that people like Michael Saylor and the reasons that Larry Fink says, it's a hedge against government, against the spending, yada, 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 freedom. The only way you should have your Bitcoin is to self-custody it. Because if someone else is holding those keys, it is not your Bitcoin. It defeats the entire purpose. If you're only looking to speculate on price, add it to your portfolio. I want to watch it grow 20%, a year over the next 10 years and cash it out. Cool. You don't trust a centralized exchange? You'd rather trust the oldest bank in the United States? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Do it. Great. I applaud you. So
it's services tailored for individuals that don't want to self-custody.
Yeah.
And so you could, in the same way, like you don't trust the banks, you don't got to keep your cash there. Just keep your cash at home. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you could buy your own safe. You could bolt it to the floor, have it fireproof, and you can keep your cash in there. And there are plenty of people that don't trust the banks, and they're like, "Hey, I'd rather hold my own money." And majority of people feel more comfortable keeping their dollars and their fiat or whatever currency they have in a bank. And so I don't see this being any different in crypto. If you start onboarding people that aren't crypto native, that really don't care to spend the time to research it, they're just like, "Hey man, Bitcoin's the future. I want some. I don't really want to take the risk of having a USB and writing down, like, you know what? I'll just buy it. Bank, can you custody it?"
Robin, do you think this leads to in a proxy way making crypto, stablecoin, and Bitcoin legal tender? Because if BNY Mellon, let's say, holds $100,000 of my stablecoins or my Bitcoin,
Eventually,
and now I'm allowed to, when I go to pay something, it'll give me options: pay with USD or pay USDC.
They would have to remove because it's a commodity, you're going to pay taxes on it, right? In the same way that if I buy gold and I find someone that takes gold and I pay in gold, I'm going to pay taxes if I bought gold at a cheaper price than when I used it to buy something. If I buy gold for $1,000 an ounce and then it goes up to $1,500 an ounce a couple of years later, and I go to buy something, regardless of what it is, a tank of gas, a cup of coffee, I need to pay capital gains tax on the profit that I made from the purchase to the sale. And so then that, first of all, creates a tax nightmare, because now you have a taxable event every time you go to a point of sale service machine, right? Every time you tap, or every time you use your QR, every time you're paying in your gold, and replace gold with Bitcoin.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So until it's declared fiat, I think that the idea of using something for payment is foolish, right? I think stable coins make a lot of sense.
I was gonna say, so then
stable coins makes tons of sense. But, at the end of the day, what are you going to do with, what do you got, Rago?
No, as a coin collector, there are certain coin, gold and silver, that if you own it, they are tax exempt.
Really?
Yeah, I know that the US will mint
American
gold
Eagle.
coins, and you'll see like the infomercials will be like the silver dollar collectible. It's still legal tender, right?
Yes.
And so the Treasury or the Mint, I'm not sure which department it is, they will issue something, and now it could be 100% gold, and you can use it as legal tender. And so in that one situation, you're not going to be taxed on it. But could you find something the same on Bitcoin? Could you have a tokenized Bitcoin that is legal tender? I think that's something that would fit that exact box, right? Here's a coin. It's worth 0.1 Bitcoin. It's legal tender. It's stamped onto whatever it is. And in that situation would be exactly the same as gold. I think at this point, until there's laws or regulation, Bitcoin, crypto will be taxed and be looked at in the exact same way that precious metals are when it comes to buying goods. And so are there exceptions? Yeah. Could there be exceptions for Bitcoin and crypto? Yeah. But what I would like to see, to answer your question, is just a sweeping law that says, hey, go ahead and spend your commodities in the same way you spend fiat. It is fiat, or maybe it's a dual currency. I don't know what path they would do. Or maybe there's just a law that says, hey, here's an exception. Commodities that are digital commodities, you don't have to pay taxes on for purchases. I think that's one easy loophole, right? I could see Congress saying, hey, are you a digital commodity? Yes. Cool. Check. Don't pay taxes.
But don't be a digital crypto asset security, like Gary Gensler says.
Yeah. And then just to round out the thought here is, if we get more and more adoption with crypto, if banks have crypto and you're sending money abroad, remittance payments, whatever it is, if majority of the population is using it, they're going to demand taxes to be removed at some point, right? And so I think that eventually we get to fiat with crypto. Just how far away is that? Is it 10 years from now? Is it 2 years from now? Or is it 30 years from now? I don't know. But I do think that as we onboard more and more people into the crypto ecosystem and it becomes more of a convenient way of paying, people will demand that the taxes go away.
You know, when you take a step back and think about it, we are literally in the middle of a financial revolution. and we're at the ground level. Pretty cool. What else is pretty cool is our channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business, you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, you're going to want to visit bluewiretech.com. We are upgrading some of our broadband equipment in studio, and with the help of Blue Wire Tech. And so big shout out to them, and big shout out to them being our longest tenured sponsor on the channel.
And big shout out to those of you that are new in the chat. I spotted out some new faces. We got John C. J. J-A-Y, Adam 3210, K. Double Seaton, Crunk, Graining, Rover, Milton, Trevor W. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, only 70 likes, almost 250 people in the chat. So why haven't you liked the video? And then last, I'm going to ask you in the chat to say something. And what do you say? Hola. But let's do an hola train. Why am I promoting the hola? Why? Why y'all laughing?
She's laughing now. I laughed because she left.
That's no. You laughed first.
Okay. Anyways, we like to spam the chat here because more chat, more viewers, more promotion from YouTube. So let's spam the chat with holas. OLA. Let's see. See if we can get over 100 olas in the chat. It'd be nice.
A lot of talk about walnuts in the chat.
Walnuts.
Yeah.
What's a walnut?
What's a walnut?
What?
It's a nut.
Oh, I thought it had like a dual meaning or something here.
No.
No.
It's the food.
No.
I know.
Official is a
our
nut.
minds go to
A walnut is a nut. Is official.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyways, let's talk about. So your thumbnail here, you can see, it says I'm selling, right? Bitcoin, Caspa, BitTensor, AI, certain sectors. We're very bullish on. But what are we not bullish on? Robin, what are you not bullish on? And we briefly touched on this before we went live. And you started talking, and I paused you. I said, save it for the show. So go ahead. What are you not
I'm
bullish
selling Solana. Bro.
What, you're selling Solana. Okay. Okay. So everything I shared with you,
Yes, I know.
you're selling Solana. There has to be a reason, please. What's your reason?
Selling Solana,
Rob
not
Stradamus,
because the price won't go up,
Okay.
but I do think that it ran too hot, too early in the bull market. It's overvalued.
You think it's going
and
to pull a
think-
Polygon?
I was actually where I was gonna go. I'm glad you said that. I was genuinely gonna. My next transition was I think it feels a lot like Polygon did last bull market, where it had tons of partnerships, tons of headline news. A lot of people were using it. It ran hot and heavy earlier in the bull market, and then it just slowly just tapered off. And I think that because Solana is number 5 on the market cap list, I think it gets back up to the $200, but I think it's gonna have a hard time getting over $200. I think that I'm probably 50-50 if the top is in for Solana. And even if it's not in, if it keeps climbing, I think that if it gets over $200, more than likely what we've seen is Bitcoin in 6 figures. We've seen the altcoin market rally and run, and I think it's going to be quickly outperformed by the likes of Toncoin, Cardano, Chainlink, Caspa. And so I'm selling not because it won't generate a profit, but I'm selling because there is so much more projects I feel comfortable getting into. I think that Caspa is going to outperform Solana this bull market. I think that Chainlink will outperform Solana this bull market. I think Cardano will outperform Solana this bull market from this point forward. Now, if we were in the early stages and we were at the $30 or the $40 or $50 Solana, sure, that's a different discussion. But I do think that it's overvalued right now. And will it pull back a little further? Maybe. Maybe it gets back down to 120 or something. And I think that, will it rally to $200? Sure. What is $200 from 150? You know, you're talking about 20 something X, right? Or 20 something percent. And
30%.
so, yeah. And so,
Okay.
I just don't. For me, it's not it, man. I think that I think it's just overvalued, and I think that it feels a little toppy, bro.
I was having this conversation with a mutual friend of ours, Adam, yesterday, and he's got a lot of Solana. I would say 50% of his net worth is in Solana, And I said, so what's your plan? He said, I'm gonna write it up. I was like, if I were you, I would deleverage a little bit. He said, why? I said, and I asked him, I said, what is your realistic, how high do you think Solana can go? He's like, $500. I'm like, so you're going to have, and he's got a sizable portfolio. It's in the six figures. Like, so you're going to have 6 figures in a project that you think will 3X when you can put 20% of that or 30% of that, deleverage a little bit into another project that can give you a 5 or 6X on the same level of risk. And I threw out projects like Cardano, like Avalanche, like Near Protocol. And he's like, yeah, I kind of get it, but
I'm on the fence with Avalanche.
you're on the fence.
On which one will outperform? Do you think Avalanche will outperform Solana?
I think it's got more room to run. Yeah.
I mean, it does. A smaller market cap, but
I mean, remember when the Citi article I talked about, right? Citibank?
Yeah.
Citibank already worked with Avalanche earlier this year to tokenize a fund, right? Private equity.
and it hasn't moved much.
Correct.
And that's
Correct.
why I look at Solana. The headline is, hey, Solana. I mean, example, look at Avalanche. I don't know, man. I've just been in the game long enough. Solana feels a little toppy. Does it not? Doesn't it feel a little toppy?
Look, can Solana get to $1,000? I think it can. I really think it can. But
I think it's
just there.
So-
Here's the thing for me. For me, I look at Solana as
it can get to $1,000.
a potential massive gainer in your portfolio, but also potentially high risk. The risk, I think, maybe not equal to the reward, but pretty damn close. I think, I don't know, but it's just, there's so much happening, and you hear everyone talking about, 90% of them are bots and this and that. All I'm saying is, we take a look at what is happening on chain. We have our qualms about the project, and it's centralized, and it's got a high inflation rate, and the transactions fail 70% of the time. But you still have the largest institutions in the world that are picking Solana. Why?
Okay.
But
So you're saying Solana could get to $1,000, but I mean, how confident do you feel in that? If you had to put a percentage on there,
40%.
40%.
Yeah.
Okay. So Solana at 1,000 is about the same. That's a 6X, right?
Yeah.
A 6X from Cardano puts it at $2.
Let's look at market cap, Rob.
You-
Let's
so-
let's look in terms of market cap.
So
Okay?
Solana, like for me, Solana getting to
6X
1,000, I think the chances of it are maybe 10%. And I think that the chances of Cardano getting to $2, I look at it like 70%. And so that's why I'm selling that, because of probabilities of return, probabilities of getting that $1,000 Solana to 6X. I think it's highly unlikely. And the probability of getting the $2 Cardano, I think is more likely than not. I think it's higher than 50%. And I just that's just my.
I want to ask the chat. What do you think will be more profitable to hold in your portfolio, Solana or Cardano? Put a 1 for Solana, put a 2 for Cardano. I'm genuinely curious, and I'm curious to see what Rocco thinks.
What about you?
I don't
Ashley?
know,
What do you
it's,
think? Solana or
We're
Cardano?
currently voting on whose haircut's better. I don't think this is important right now.
Fair
okay?
enough.
Okay, which name sounds better, Cardano or Solana?
I need to see their logos.
Okay.
You don't
Can
know
I
their-
judge on how they
You
look?
don't even know what their logos look like?
I don't really care.
Stop putting her on the spot.
It's the
okay?
same thing with like football. You look at their jerseys and whoever's
Yeah.
prettier, you vote for.
You know what? My ex-wife.
Which one's
My
prettier?
ex-wife, I brought her to the sports book one time, and I was over here. I did all my research, I had all my little picks over there, and then
And they
I
all
was
lost.
like, well, anyways, I was doing a 5-team parlay, and then I was like, here, pick some teams, and then she just picked all her favorite animals, it was like
And
the
they won, right?
Bears, the
Did it win?
Dolphins. Yeah, she freaking won, and then she
See?
was like Bears, Dolphins, and so that's why I'm like, which one do you like? Because. And
I
and
need to
then
see
I was
which
just
logo is prettier. Same thing with the jerseys. You got to look at the prettier jerseys.
you've seen the logo a million times here in the studio.
I'm
Ro-
sure I have.
Rocco, what's your thoughts here, my friend?
Which logo do you like better, Rocco?
I like the logo with the dolphins. If it's a dolphin as a unicorn, it's even better. There we go.
Man.
Here,
So-
Ashley. Here, let me help you here, my
Thank
friend.
you. Thank you so
In the
much.
meantime-
So
Here we go.
this
This is the
Cardano.
true test of sentiment right
Yeah.
here.
This
and
is
retail
Cardano,
adoption.
a bunch of circles,
Oh,
and this is Solana.
that one.
Solana. Okay, Solana it is.
That's it.
Solana it is. Rocco, what did you say? I didn't hear. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's about the depends. I think where if you start from scratch, like if you gotta buy Cardano or Solana now.
Right now.
So
Right
you,
now.
you don't have a zero.
You have
Cardano.
no allocation to either of them. You gotta hold it through 2025. Risk, reward. What do you feel comfortable? What would you feel comfortable holding? Let's just say $10,000 worth of this token.
Cardano.
Cardano.
I will Cardano.
I agree with you guys. I am also more
You
confident.
were
holding.
so ready to shut my idea down when I said sell.
I
Solana.
was.
You
No,
were
no,
so
but look,
ready. Now, look at you. I convinced you.
look. I'm a very high risk person. I like to take a lot of risk. I look at it as my age, the amount of money I'm making right now. There's no better time to take risks than now. And so for me, Solana is very risky, but the potential I think could be absolutely massive. And so only time will tell who's right and who's wrong. So yeah, but what I am selling, because I'm not selling Solana. So what am I selling? I'm selling this chart right here. This chart is so bad. This is Polkadot. Okay. I mean, just is there anyone bullish on Polkadot? I'm curious. If you're bullish on Polkadot, tell me why. Are you bullish on Polkadot? Is there anything? No, seriously. Is there one thing you can point to say, yeah, man, I think Polkadot's a good pickup here. Is there anything? The only thing I'll say is Gavin Wood, right?
He's
a pioneer in the space.
Didn't he leave? Didn't he quit?
Did he?
Quit and kind of came
Yeah,
back.
You're probably right.
He
Damn it.
stepped
Okay,
down.
never mind.
He stepped down, and then he came back. And it's supposed to be decentralized. It doesn't really matter, right? But still, not a good look.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm selling Polkadot, and at least in the short term, when I look at, and the volume,
Is there anybody here that holds Polkadot? I want to know. If you hold Polkadot, let me know. Put
Robin,
it in the chat.
Robin,
just
look-
put dot in the chat. I'm just curious. Is there anybody here holding Polkadot?
look at this non-existent volume. Look at this. From March of this year, you can't even see it on the chart. You can't even see the volume on the chart from here.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
seriously.
What do
Which
we
just
talk
changes
about all the time?
Which just changes the
What do we talk
This
about all the
is-
time?
Okay, that's a fair point, Rocco. This is Poloniex. Let me go to a higher. Okay, Rocco made a really good point.
So my critique on things that I want exposure to is
Okay, that's a fair point, Rocco. This is Binance. This is Polkadot on Binance. Okay, it's a fair
but
point.
yeah,
That's a little
it's still pretty lackluster. It's all about where's the money moving, where's the interest, where's the community, who is building, and so if there's just a lack of volume, it just shows you that there's lack of new money coming in, right? Because what is going to pump the price of your favorite crypto project? It's new people coming in and buying. That's just represented in volume. And if the volume isn't there, that's why I'm saying, like, hey, I got no problem coming into a project after it's rallied a little bit. This is just a confirmation that the community is there, the interest is growing, and there's more likelihood of momentum gaining and more users coming on. And so I got no problem if I see a project at $1 and it's been at $1 for 3 years. I got no problem when it gets to $1.50 and being up 50%, being like, okay, let me buy it now. Especially if it's lower market cap and it's starting to climb up. Now, if something moves 50% and now it's in the top 10, different story. Solana, for an example. But if you have suppressed price for long periods of time and it's lower in the market cap list, it starts to move. Hop on the train, especially for the early stages of a bull market like we're in now. And so for me, I'm fading
need to-
Polkadot at the moment.
Guys, I need to have a moment of silence.
For what?
Retro Mike said, "Be right back. Got to go ape into Polkadot." Have a moment of silence for his portfolio. Big shout out to Alex O Crypto. We need to bring Alex on the show. Alex, I'm going to reach out to you after the show, my friend. We want to bring you back on, brother. He said, David's hair. Well, who's Davis, actually? Interesting. David's hair is better than Rob's hair. He said, love you both. We love you too, Alex. And we forgive you that it's Canadian dollars.
Alex, you should see my hair.
Yeah, it's going to be cut soon. Rocco came guns a-blazing today with the hair jokes. It was great, yeah.
Little announcement. We've been working on something here on the side. And so if you guys did not get enough of Big Rob and Little Dave, and also Ashley, if you
Wait,
want...
did you say Little Dave? I'm literally 5
Yes,
inches
it
taller
is.
than you. And not just in the height area. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, go ahead. What were you saying?
If you'd like to hang out with us further and enjoy the conversations that we're having, completely unrelated to crypto.
Also, a little unhinged.
A little unhinged.
Actually,
out there.
very unhinged.
Very unhinged.
Yeah.
So we got another channel we've been kind of messing around with. Some of the people in the community already know about it, but it is called Bold Broadcasting. And it is just more of a free thinking or kind of, we're just talking, right? We're chatting about trending topics, things of that nature. Same kind of format, the three of us kind of hanging out with microphones, but
Can we get
it's a live show. And so if you guys want to hang out with us, at least do us a favor. We put the channel link in the description. It's pinned to the top. At least go in there and give us a subscribe or a follow. And if you want to, we're going to go live in about 20 minutes. And so if you want to come join us there.
Can you maybe preview maybe one or two topics that we're talking? Maybe people are interested in.
Little Elon Musk, Diddy. We're talking about Diddy and his whole.
Okay.
Again?
Yeah, and
Ooh,
there's a
Diddy?
big pop figure that has been named as one of Diddy's personal homies.
Yeah, okay, just
We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there. Yeah, it's great. We do this every Friday, or we've been doing it every Friday. I was right this week. Cue the round of applause, Rocco. Now would be a good time. Thank you very much. Who will be right this week? So, real quick, and then we'll sign off. Bitcoin enters bull pennant breakout as the S&P 500 hits an all-time high. We take a look at Bitcoin on the monthly. Bull pennant, there it is. I talked about that 64.57 level. It was not broken. We did not make a higher high. We actually made a lower high. And so, no bueno. No bueno. But this could all change over the weekend. Robin, we're here Monday. Where's Bitcoin's price?
66.5.
I'm at 61.5. Yeah. I think we'll stay over 60K. Rocco?
I'm bullish. Rose in the 70,000.
70,000 over the weekend.
Gonna touch it again.
Ashley, you want to throw a number out?
62.
62.
What is that at right now?
It's how many burritos you've had this year?
Right at your ass, bro. She went $500
Price is
above
right.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how Monday plays out. Guys, want to give one more thank you to our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. We recommend you, or we encourage you to support the people that support this channel. And so a big thank you to Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com. Have a great weekend, you guys. It's been a fun week. Come hang out with us on the Bold Broadcasting channel.
We'll be live in 10 minutes.
With that being said, Rocco, that was good. See, Chase is next to you, and that was almost perfect. Unless Chase hit the button. Chase, good job, man. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that
I want all
big
the
dough. So every
credit
day
now.
stay tapped in.
We'll keep you in
Big
camera
facts,
all
no
day.
capping. With
Let's do it,
Bitcoin,
man.
you in and you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya. Sin City.
6,